Hey, Patrick, how you doing, bud?
Not too bad at all, buddy. So what have you from today?
Well, this is a link to the last one we did with Brandi Kruse. This has to do with school funding and the fraud that's involved. And when you see some of the salaries of these people, we talked about it in the most recent one with the WEA and the SEIU and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
this
Wow.
is
Yeah.
pretty bad. There's some segments in here that are like really, really cringeworthy. But this kind of fraud is something that we really should be paying attention to as a society. It is out of hand. School boards are making insane amounts of money. PhDs with education PhDs are getting paid wildly outside of what would be acceptable. But when we see some of the salaries and some of the things that are going on, you're going to more understand. So we'll let Brandi get to work, right?
Okay.
We have a segment on the show today that I think is probably the most important segment we've ever done on this absolute lie and grift from the Washington Education Association, the teachers union, that they need more money for education. It's a lie they tell every single year. We need higher taxes. We need to tax the rich. And this isn't about helping kids at all. It's not.
So that is the problem right there, right away. So Article 5 of the Constitution says you're not allowed to do a taking. So a taking is like a wealth tax, right?
Right.
So
Okay.
when they say that specific thing, we need to tax the rich, what they're saying is at the end of everybody's compiled everything, we need to take a percentage of your earnings on the back end.
Right. Okay. So they're talking about raising taxes so they hit for the children, obviously.
It's not raising taxes. It is specifically designing a tax that is illegal under the Constitution, under the Fifth Amendment, right?
So does that mean income tax is illegal?
Functionally, except that there's something in the Constitution that they put through in 1911 to make that happen. Now, in 1911, it was the same problem, right? It was, we're just going to tax the rich, just the wealthy. And then by 1914, 1915, everybody's getting a piece of it, right? So what happens?
Everyone's getting shafted the same way.
Yeah, everybody's getting done the same way. So California's got the same problem. They're about to introduce a wealth tax here. We've lost a couple billionaires. We talked about the lady that runs In-N-Out Burgers. She went to Kentucky, made a $400-500 million complex out there, and they're going to start pushing In-N-Out Burger in the South.
I always understand the idea of taxing the rich. But what they forget is rich people can move and leave.
Well, and also, rich people employ all the people that are making those minimum wage salaries. Yes. That money doesn't come from nowhere, right?
No.
But again, when you institute something that is in violation of the Constitution, California, Washington, a lot of these states will pass these laws, New York, Wisconsin, or whatever, and then wait to be challenged, meanwhile taking the money, right? So it's super important to understand that what they want to do is functionally unconstitutional on its face. A wealth tax is a taking, and it's a violation of the Fifth Amendment. So let's get going.
Not about helping kids at all. It's about lining the pockets of the WEA and its members, period. They're trotting around the state of Washington as the legislative session begins. They're holding these regional town halls. They're calling them town halls about the school funding crisis. This is a picture from one that happened at Newport High School in Bellevue over the weekend.
So if you don't know Washington State, Bellevue, Renton, Olympia, these places are in the upper 2 to 5% of earners in the country, right? Yeah.
Okay.
They have the money. The money is already there. They're allocating it poorly, and they're taking a big giant chunk for themselves. So the more that the teachers make, the bigger the union dues can be because it's based on a percentage sometimes. Go ahead.
But let's be fair to teachers. Every time we've looked at Buffalo or Washington or any other school region when we cover them, the teachers are on a pittance compared to the administration, school boards, and everyone else.
Right. But if I as WEA or SEIU or whatever can get you a 5 or 6% raise and I get a percentage of it, even if it's say 1.2%, right? Or if you make more money, I can charge you more as a base union due. I don't charge you $87 anymore. I charge you $104. And when you have 10 or 11,000 people, that really adds up. It really, really does.
Yes, but I think the problem here is it's the amount that they spend on administration is unbelievable. They have, 10 in Buffalo when we're covering Buffalo? They have 10 administration staff for every teacher.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. Since 1985, 86, it has gone on the scale and the XY. It has gone just straight up. It's really,
Yeah.
really bad. And you don't need that many administrators. With the Prussian
No.
style of instruction, you shouldn't need that much at all. There should be
Like
much
even
less
if you look at
oversight.
our secondary schools over here, most secondary schools have with 400 to 600 people, 600 students, and you probably have a school secretary, 3 or 4 maybe administration staff in the whole school, including the principal and vice principal.
Yeah, well, you don't. That's just not needed. Where you're checking attendance records, making sure that children who are ill get put into their parents' hands to be taken, to an urgent care appointment.
Yeah.
Someone to say, "Hey, here's the rules that we have," and da-da-da. Somebody has to make the PA announcements. We have to do the pledge of allegiance or whatever it is you do in your school.
In our secondary schools over here, that's normally most of that is always handled by the teachers. Yeah.
Right, for sure. But sometimes if you have a PA announcement, it comes from the assistant vice principal's office, the vice principal, the dean, all these other created positions, which just we don't have any of that over here. I'll be honest, we don't. Like our school boards for the most part are the principal and the vice principal, and probably school secretary. Everything else is volunteer school boards. So here, our school boards indicate who gets paid what and how. So
and they
people
get paid
who are in charge of their own paychecks, there's no third party, no arbitration. The school board says X position makes X money. The SPED director makes this much. The whatever other position makes this much. And in Ireland, you're telling me those are all volunteer positions, right?
No, because with our Board of Education or Minister of Education sets out the framework for pay for teachers.
Right.
So year 1, you get this, year 2, year 3, and so on. So you have a set pay scale from the day you start as a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Every now and again, it'll go up, say they'll go on strike, and they might get an extra 2 or 3%. But overall, it's pretty set on the day you retire.
Right. Well, the things that we have don't allow for like cost of living, raises or anything like that. But the board will go and fight for these pay raises and stuff like that. But what happens is they functionally end up taxing the district. The district puts in a bunch of money because they, in quote, need more money for scissors and resources and da-da-da-da. And it ends up going into someone's paycheck as a $20,000 or $30,000 bump every time it happens. It's pretty disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
They're setting their own wages, and it's not cool. It's not cool at all. So here we go.
You've got the WEA members handing out signs, raise revenue, fund our schools. Now, not a surprise that you'd have Democrats and the teachers union going out at a time when we know the legislature is going to be talking about increasing taxes, and they want a piece of that, If there's more money to be had, they want it. But I think one of the sickest, saddest things that they did at this particular town hall, and we had a spy there. We got spies everywhere. But we had a spy there taking video for us in case the video wasn't going to be posted online. And not only did you have politicians and teachers going out there and talking about the fact that they need more money to fund education.
So I looked up the cost for housing in that area, Bellevue, Renton, all that. And you're going to see some of these North Point like that. So the average cost of a home in that area is $750,000 American dollars, right? Which means they're already paying with their property taxes and all other kinds of taxes, a massive amount of money. I mean, absolutely massive, right? Even if they got a great loan at 3%, they're still paying $5,000 a month for their house, right?
And say another 5 on top, say, for every other Jew they're paying as well.
For every other thing, right? So if they have a thing called Belarus, which is specifically a school tax, that's an education tax, right? So the base for their house, their payment plus interest plus the taxes is going to be $5.5, $6 grand, and that's for the little 3-bedroom, 2-bath, right?
Wow.
Yeah, it's really bad. And if you get to these 5 and 6 and beyond, functionally mansions with over 3,000 square feet or whatever it is, and be 1,000 square meters of house, yeah, it's really, really bad. So they're already pulling in an insane amount of money. So the only thing that can be happening is that they're misallocating their funds. That's the only thing that can be happening, because they have way more than enough money in that district to give every child a Chromebook, to give them every kind of resource they could possibly need, every sports program, every kind of instrument you could ever want to play, the best speech instructors, the best everything.
Basically, they're just being greedy, would you say? Or trying to feather their own nest?
Ms. Kruse would like to tell you that that's the case. I would tend to agree with her here.
Yeah,
tend to
let's
agree.
see. Let the lady cook, as you would say.
Yeah, we're gonna let her cook, and we're gonna see some footage here from some of these young kids. It's not just politicians and teachers and SEIU.
Oh,
and
let me guess. Did they bring out the crying children? Because that always works.
They brought out the babies. They brought out a little one too. They brought out the babies. You know what I'm saying? they took the babies out of the stable and they're out there doing the talking. So here we go.
No,
oh wow.
There's no low too low for Democrats in the teachers union. They even trotted out kids to tell sad stories about how their schools have no money.
I'm here to talk about how last winter, my gorgeous school that we're in right now actually ran so low on money that we could not afford to put tissues in our classrooms. And it sounds almost funny until you're sitting in a full classroom surrounded by sniffles, but you're only...
Wait a second. She said tissues.
Tissues. Yes. Kleenex.
Okay.
The brand name Kleenex for 87 cents a box. They could not afford. They couldn't afford the Kleenex boxes. Patrick, they could not afford it. Get out of here. Get out of here with that.
Like over there, I presume you have something like pound shops, like Walmart, for instance. I'm going to use Walmart. Like, you buy what? Boxes of them down and saying in the Aldi Lidl.
No, Patrick, the bureaucracy says that is not an authorized vendor. We must purchase our Kleenexes and our tissues from the authorized vendor.
Are you joking me?
No, you have to have an authorized vendor. It's a safety thing, right? So you have to check and make sure your vendor is a verified vendor. That's legit. I don't mind that, right? And if it costs $1.13 per box of tissues as opposed to 87 cents, cool. Slap 26 cents on me, a quarter and a penny. Abraham Lincoln, George Washington. Can't do it.
Do you know what? If when I was going to school, if I needed tissues, guess what? I'd bring them myself.
What? Well, like a grown person? What? Like, come on now.
I can never understand this, and I know I kind of harp on a bit, but my God, the corruption in your country is ridiculous.
Pretty good. We're good at it. I mean, there are things we're good at: NGOs, corruption, but we're also, the best expeditionary military force on the planet. So we got that too. We can import bad democracy to your country like a champ. Oh, we can bring all the bad stuff. All right, let's let this young lady tell us about the tissue problem, because apparently it's a problem with sniffly kids in her classroom. All right, here we go.
About the paper towel. People are trying to focus on lessons while dealing with runny noses and irritated skin. And it seems like such a small thing, but these small things add up and they affect how students experience school every day.
They don't even have money for tissues.
How they experience school every day? Crack the books, do the work. How you experience school should have nothing to do with your scholastic function. You have Oh my God, go ahead.
Can I ask a question?
Mr. McCallum, ask me your question, sir. I'm here to answer it. What do you have for me?
I presume most of these schools have bathrooms, don't they?
Yes, they do. They do, in fact, have restrooms, lavatories, shakes.
I presume you have toilet paper and stuff like that.
Yeah, they do, in fact. They're well stocked from what I understand in that school district.
So why don't the kids just walk down to the bathroom, take a toilet roll and bring it back to the classroom?
Bro, that's a solution that works. We can't have those. Solutions are not accepted here. You must have the $8 a box Kleenexes that are from the authorized vendor in your classroom in Rich, Washington State, in that area. No choice.
Right.
Got to be the best of the best.
Okay,
right?
all right.
Gucci wash bags, the whole nine. All right.
They don't even have money for tissues. That's a student at one of the richest school districts in one of the richest places in the state of Washington and really the country.
Yeah, not just the state of Washington, in the entire country. I'm not joking. These 7 or 8 cities that they're going to talk about, the average income per year is over $1 million a year. Average income houses over 750, 800 grand. Like this is not even, it's not a problem. It's a misallocation of funds and administrative staff overpaying themselves excessively. This is not even cute. Not even cute.
Complaining that they don't have enough money to have Kleenex in their classrooms. And if that didn't tear at your heartstrings quite enough, they trotted out a kid who was even younger than that.
The baby. They brought out the baby.
Beginning of the school
I knew they would.
You can't even see her. Look at her.
Scissors for crafts and learning
I think she's down there with a burger or something. There she is.
Classroom didn't have any scissors, so every day we had to borrow them from another class.
No scissors, Patrick. We had to borrow them from another classroom. We couldn't do arts and crafts so good because we had to wait. We had to wait.
What I did, a euro or something in the pound shop over here. You got a set of them.
what, 37 American cents, a quarter, a dime, 2 pennies. You got a pair of scissors for crafts and arts and crafts. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But they had to go to another classroom and get scissors in our arts and crafts was interrupted. Oh my God.
When I was going to school, you know, before you start the school year, you got a list of stuff to bring with you from day one. You know, pens, paper. Actually, funny enough, the scissors actually was one of them.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
All you know, you get a list of bits and bobs. You know, the usual stuff that you're supposed to have with you in school. And you pick them up in the local town shop or whatever else for half or a few pence.
Bring in 6 unsharpened number 2 Ticonderoga pencils and
but obviously,
paper and what?
So none of these students, not one of them, had a scissors.
Apparently, a pair of scissors was not to be had in this kind of
neighborhood. By the way, whoever wrote this child's speech should definitely go back to school. I'm just saying, and come up with something better.
Yeah, like you could have done way better than that. But the thing is, they're trying to show a need where a need doesn't exist, and it's real hard to sell that. Like, there's no need. You failed. Try again, right?
Yeah.
And since it's the public sector, like the failure happens, and there isn't accountability. There just isn't. Like, you screwed up.
No, it never is.
Sad face, bro. All right, let's let this little angel cook. Here you go, angel, cook.
My teacher would say, Dana, can you go borrow the scissors from the room across the hall? I actually felt happy when she asked because when I came back, she would smile at me and say, "You're my superhero." I told my mom about the problem and asked if she could give me a pair of scissors to bring for my teacher. I had already asked. When my mom spoke with the teacher, she learned that the teacher had already asked the PTS for scissors months ago, but they were still on the waiting list. Because of this, my mom decided to...
Why didn't the teacher just buy the scissors herself?
Why didn't... Yeah, well, for that much, you could have Amazon have delivered them that night. You could literally have gotten on your phone.
You know, I presume on your way home, you have gas stations and bits and bobs.
Oh, yeah. Well, Walmart's got them. And Walmart's everywhere. They're plus Freddy's up there. Freddy's is really good.
Yeah, on her way home, just go pick up the scissors, bring into school the following day, keep the receipt, and hand it to the school administrator.
Well,
that's it.
She could take them, or he could take them off their taxes, right? The instructor, if they purchase things like that, it's a write-off for taxes. It's a business expense.
Yeah, whatever. You know, there's hundreds of ways. Like like if it was a school where the roof was coming off now and there was major structural issues or whatever else due to lack of funding, that would make sense. But I'm looking at this particular, I presume, basketball court over there. It's really well kept.
A multi-use, multi-purpose room, but yeah, it looks like a specifically dedicated basketball court.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
Got bleachers and all that. Yeah, for sure. It
looks really nice.
Really nice.
Well painted, well maintained.
Oh, for sure.
Very well maintained.
Yeah. Massive campus, right? Probably bigger than some colleges in your county. I'm not joking. That is probably a junior high school or a high school with a massive gym. So, all right, here we go.
And help raise money for the other parents so teachers could finally get the supplies they needed. Dana Anderson, Somerset Elementary School.
We don't even have scissors. Again, one of the richest school districts in the state of Washington. We don't even have scissors. We had to start a fund to make sure all the classrooms have scissors. Meanwhile, the little girl says, but we borrowed scissors from the class next door, so that class has scissors. Something tells me the more likely scenario that happened with the scissors is what happens with all of us at home with our scissors, is you misplace your scissors and you can't find them. Then you go buy new ones, then you misplace those, then you go buy new ones, then you misplace those.
Well, I have a public service announcement. Patrick, you ready? Ready?
Yeah, go on.
You will never lose your scissors if you put them in with the knives, because that's where sharps go. Everybody, remember that. From here on out, put your damn scissors in the knife box or put them in the drawer with the knives. They're sharps. That's where they go. You will never lose them again. When you're done with them, walk them right on over, put them right in there. Right? Easy.
I just keep in the drawer with all my pens and bits and bobs, you know, stuff like that.
Or your office supply space, which is fine too. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, common sense.
Yeah, sharps or where the office stuff goes, because when you got to cut paper, that's where you go, the office thing. Or if you use it to like cut open bags for meat and stuff, right? Because you don't want to, like rip bags of meat open that have, juices and stuff in them. That's where we keep them, so we know where they are, right? And this isn't difficult to do. And if the other classroom had them, that just means that somebody misplaced some damn scissors. Kids misplace things. It just happens, right?
Yeah,
And if
kids
you're
are
not,
like,
hey,
it's like,
put the scissors in the
goats.
scissor drawer, right?
Yeah.
Oh. All right, here we go.
And then one day you find a drawer full of scissors, and all of a sudden you got like 30 scissors. You're like, where'd all these come from? You find them all at once. I'm sure that her class at some point had scissors. And I don't think that you need to start a fund from parents to pay for scissors. I think somebody can just go ahead and buy the scissors. Now, that
was your suggestion. Just go buy the scissors.
Yes.
And then write them off as an expense for your teacher.
But I'm saying whoever wrote this speech for this poor child should definitely go back to school themselves. Just saying.
I believe that in her heart of hearts, she wrote that speech and she gave it her all. Can't believe you would say that, Patrick. I can't believe you would disparage the baby like that.
Not the child, I'm just talking about the very, very foolish adults around her.
You know what? That was so nasty. I'm going to edit it out in post. Like, I can't believe you would say that. It's gone. Consider it gone. I would not expect that kind of disrespect for the babies.
being said, that was the prelude for this regional town hall to begin with a video on the screen that featured all the superintendents from the area talking about how dire, can't afford tissues and Kleenex and scissors, how dire the school funding crisis really is.
Horrible. It's horrible. We have a scissors and tissue issue.
Oh, wow.
Right. For your whole school, it'd be €200. Be $200 American dollars to get tissues in every classroom.
I would, I wouldn't even say that.
Or check this out. You're not going to believe this. What you do is you get the scissor box. And when a classroom or their rubric says we have arts and crafts from 9:30 to 10:30, we go to the administrative office, we get the boxes,
bring them
back, and then when we're done, we count the 30 scissors back into the box and bring them over to admin. What?
Okay.
What?
There you go.
I've solved your problem. Washington State.
No.
Washington State.
Wait. Let's see what these superintendents have to say. Maybe they have a solution.
Well, maybe the need is so dire because they make such little money that they don't have the financial wherewithal to drop 200 bob on the problem.
I was about to say, I think people are going to be shocked because
well, I hope
the money these people, the amount of money these people are on, is more than the U.S. president. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Oh, it's bad. It's really all right. Here we go.
Washington students deserve a public education that's fully funded.
Dr. John Holman, Doctor of Education.
By the way, they're all going to be doctors. Every single bloody one of them, I guarantee.
I think one of them wasn't, but this one's a doctor. This is Dr. John Holman. He's a superintendent, Lake Washington School District. Again, one of the richest school districts, not just in Washington State, but in the country. Here we go, John. What do you got to say?
Equitable and sustainable.
Every day, students walk into classrooms built to help them grow and prepare for their futures. But sustaining these environments is getting more difficult without reliable funding.
The funding is super reliable. It's misallocation.
Basics that keep schools running.
I believe strongly that state basic
Dr. Susanna Reyes.
Education funding must fully cover the real costs of educating our students. That means funding formulas that reflect today's realities, like salaries and benefits, classroom supplies, curriculum, utilities, insurance, and everything it takes to run safe, high-quality schools.
We need to make sure that we're
Dr. Fred Rundle.
thinking about the whole child and the fact that their day doesn't just start and stop at the beginning of the day and the end of the school day, and that a half-time student only requires half-time funding.
Across Washington, we are all
Dr. Justin Irish. He's Irish, or at least his name is.
His name's Irish.
The state's funding for K-12 education still isn't enough to meet student needs.
It is enough. If the funds aren't misallocated by the school board, it is enough. You just don't want it to be enough, right?
In Northshore, almost 30% of our local levy dollars go just to fill state funding gaps for special education.
When we talk about education funding, we're
Dr. Suzanne Leach.
really talking about the future of our communities. Every dollar we invest in our schools is a dollar invested in opportunity, equity, and innovation.
I want to first begin
So listen, that's investing in the students, right? That is an investment in the students, right? And that's Dr. Damien Patnod, right? Renton. We talked about Renton. Super exclusive neighborhood, super money. Yeah, it's wow. It's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, you're not going to drive around with anything less than a Mercedes there, let's put it that way.
Well, and they're not investing in the student. The school board is investing in the paychecks and the benefit packages for the school board, because the teachers are still not making a wage that is acceptable for that area.
I put it this way: when we were looking at the Buffalo one, when we started looking at the facts and figures there that time,
right?
Yeah, the normal teacher is on half the wages that an Irish teacher would be on.
Right.
Half. Just bear that in mind.
Right. For a country with 5 million people, they can seem to pay their teachers a livable, functional wage. And it's your minister of education is the one that dictates it. But all these separate school boards in all these areas.
Well, we have the teachers. Yeah, we have the teachers union and everything else. And every now and again, there's a bit of a hoo-ha. They sit down. There's a 2% rise or something like that. Anyway, but nothing
cost of living expense stuff's handled. As a block.
The normal to and fro. But teachers are paid pretty well. But you have to remember, teachers over here take a lot of the administration on board themselves as well.
Oh,
so they don't have we don't have the bloat like there is over there.
The overhead bloat. Yeah, it's horrific. So let's see what Dr. Damien Patnod has to say. What do you got there, Doc?
Begin by thanking the PTAs, school board members, EAs, students, and statewide partners for your continued advocacy to ensure our state lives up to its paramount duty of fully funding K-12 public education.
Well, there you have it from the school superintendents. I guess we can't really argue with them. I mean, what reason would they have to suggest that there's a school funding crisis if there's not a school funding crisis? And I mean, if we've got kids who are saying we can't afford tissues in class.
Or scissors. Don't forget the scissors.
My teacher doesn't have any scissors, and we had to start a fund to be able to get my teacher scissors. I mean, who really would second guess any of them? Gosh, if only there was another place, maybe, that they could find the funds they need to buy scissors and essential supplies like...
Brandi, Ms. Kruse, where would we possibly find this money, do you think? Ooh, I don't know.
Fire the school board? Just fire the school board? That's plenty of money there. Just get rid of them.
You said maybe Ms. Kruse was uncharitable in the last one, and that she didn't have solutions, but I think you'll be pleasantly surprised here. You might have a solution. Let's see.
Phoenixes. Let's check in on the salaries of the superintendents who were in that video. Dr. John Holman, the Lake Washington School.
$432,000 a year. Let that sink in. In 26 months, in 26 or 7 months, he will make $1 million. $1 million.
I put this with you. If you take Germany, for instance, their chancellor in Germany is capped at $300,000 a year. Just bear that in mind.
That's the entire country. Yeah.
Yes, it's capped at that.
If you sit in your chair, John, and you tell me you make $432,000 a year, and you can't shit Kleenex and fucking scissors, you're an asshole. That's horrible, dude. Really?
Yeah.
Really? All right. I think he might be the big daddy for these wages, right? I think he's the worst one. There might be one that's slightly more, but yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And it's also, there's a transparency in government rule. So state employees, public employees in the United States, you can see how much they make. When I worked for the state, that you could look up how much money I made per year, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I got super emotional. My heart rate went up. I was like, oh my God, I've never seen that much money in one place. Had it in an account. Like that's insane. Yeah, for that dude to tell you that they're short on money, come on, dude. Really?
Wow. Yeah. What's the next one? I have to see the next one.
Superintendent. Well, he makes $432,000 a year. How about Dan Schlottfeld, the Snoqualmie Valley superintendent? Well, he makes $350,000.
Put that in perspective. 350 at the end of 2 years is $700,000. Close to the 31 or 32 months in a row mark, he's made $1 million. That's taxpayer dollars.
Wow.
Going to one administrator. Okay.
That is absolutely crazy.
Let's see who's next.
$1,000 a year. How about Dr. Susanna Reyes, the shoreline superintendent? She makes $345,000.
Only 5,000 less than her buddy over there across the way.
Wait a second. Isn't normally everyone supposed to be paid the same? Why is the lady paid less than everyone else?
Because the school board in that area dictates what they make, and that individual is on that school board.
I thought it was all about equality and equal pay for equal work.
Equity.
No.
Equity is not equality. Equity is different. Okay. Equity means I take everything I possibly can out of the system. Apparently, it doesn't seem very equitable to me, right?
Yeah. Right. If I was that lady, I'd be very upset. I'll be honest.
Yeah, old John makes 432. Why am I getting the short end of this stick, right?
Yeah.
So again, go on. Month 35 or 36, it's $1 million for one administrator in 33 months. Yeah, that's bad. Wow. That's really bad.
I think people are wondering why I'm laughing so much. I'm laughing because you couldn't make this stuff up, really, if you tried.
Well, it's like, it makes me want to put my finger in my mouth up to my elbow because it makes me so sick to see this. This is gross.
Dr. Fred Rundle, the Mercer Island superintendent, he makes...
Oh, look at him, low wage.
Wow.
Wage.
Okay.
It's going to take him almost 4 years to make $1 million.
Oh, poor guy.
Poor fella, old Fred there, just not getting over on the system like his buddies are. Oh, my God.
$281,000 a year. How about Dr. Justin Irish, the Northshore school superintendent?
Only $400,000 a year. That's it.
Wow.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's going to take him 30 months to get to $1 million.
Yeah.
Slow poke. Ugh.
He makes $392,000 a year. How about Dr. Susan Leach, the Riverview School superintendent? She makes $309,000.
A measly $309,000. Get out of here.
Oh, wow. She's underpaid as well for a lady.
For sure. Men and women should be making equal wages, right?
Yeah. I thought it was all about that.
Well, she should make as much as Dr. Susanna of Education Reyes.
I think they all should all make the same as the first guy.
Oh, right. You know what? Yeah, why not?
A year.
Yeah.
How about Dr. Damian Patnaud, the Renton School District superintendent?
Oh, he's only $3,000 under old John. Ooh.
And he's in one of the richer districts as well.
Yeah. Apparently, right? Yeah. Oh, my God.
He makes $429,000 a year. You have school superintendents in these districts whose salaries are on par with the President of the United States, and you have the audacity to trot out 8-year-old kids to complain about the fact that their classroom can't even afford scissors.
You make $500,000 a year, and I'm sure you have income streams and other things that are getting you up over that number. For sure.
Yeah.
So what I was going to say, you make $500,000 a year. If you tell me you can't buy a pair of scissors and make sure every child in that school has a pair of scissors in their hand from you personally, you're a lying sack of shit. That's horrible, dude. Oh, that just makes me sick to my stomach. Oh, maybe it's because I didn't eat lunch, but I think it's this. All right.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Unfortunately, our classroom didn't have any scissors, so every day we had to borrow them from another class.
It's almost as if, hold on, my scalp that my spy got for me. It's almost as if, let me explain this to you like a third-grade teacher, that we don't need to raise revenue to fund our schools. It's almost as if we could fund our schools with the money we already have.
Yes.
It looks like there might be enough American Petro confetti dollars to pay for the school thing, that the issues you have. Right.
There is more than enough money floating around that system.
It looks like it's possible.
If they sat down with a proper accountant and went through line by line items, there's a lot of that system.
My grandfather would have said, "That's a bunch of horse hockey, grandson." That's what he'd have said. That's horse hockey. Oh.
Am I talking too much common sense again?
Yeah. The scissor box, put them where the sharps go. Like, there's a way to do this where you wouldn't lose scissors. And if that dude doesn't, like, at $432,000 or $429,000, doesn't just bring you Kleenex personally from his office when you call him and tell him you're short.
Our Minister of Education is looking it up here. Gets 150 base plus expensive 150 is capped roughly about €200,000 a year.
The one that runs your entire education department for your country.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, these people are making 2 and 3 times that per year. We're gonna let Brandi close this one out. She's gonna go ahead and drop the mic with this sign because she pretty much deserves it. This is just bad.
Scene. Absolutely insane. We can't afford Kleenexes and scissors. Well, you have school superintendents who are making $429,000 a year. If there are people dumb enough to believe that, then you are dumb enough to believe anything.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is that because of the people who live in those neighborhoods, if they can institute a taking, then their salaries will go up another $120,000 a year.
Oh,
all of them.
easily. Absolutely. Yeah. Except, unfortunately, the people actually doing the job, the teachers, don't seem to get a big piece of that pie at all whatsoever.
No,
unfortunately.
it gets put on their back, and they're like, okay, I can buy scissors, but I also have to buy food for my kids and pay my rent and do my things. And a lot of these teachers they can't afford to live in the cities in which they work.
No.
They cannot afford to live in Renton or Bellevue or any of those places.
Even when we were on about Buffalo that time, and we were looking through all the different reports they're citing, one teacher had to travel 2 hours to and from work every day, so 4 hours of travel plus the day of work as well on top.
They end up out in the outskirts of that area, like in Puyallup and stuff like that, where it's just it's 90 minutes, say it's an hour and 15, whatever. It's
and traffic then it could be up to 2 hours and so on. And they're paid at not even a tenth of what one of these superintendents gets. Not even a tenth.
I would say I think we look at 65 grand, but that's still a fifth.
Yeah, fifth. Yeah, fifth. Yeah,
300 grand, right? Not even that's a seventh of what the 432 or 420. That's insane. That's unacceptable. Yeah. That is absolutely unacceptable.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, you got anything else for the people there, Patrick?
Wow, I have to say it's definitely eye-opening, the amount of millions of waste, just unbelievable waste.
Yeah, well, I think Brandi was right. It's almost as if they already have the money in the system to do it. They're just misallocating funds. And it looks like they're just being greedy and they're going to try and grab for it, right? Just rude. So, all right, for Patrick McCallum, I am Alex Johansson. We are the A&P Gents. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, help us beat the algorithm. We are